Well, it's Valentine's Day today and love is in the air, and many may be tempted to go on the dating apps. But before you swipe right or left, be aware of who you're talking to, as your search for a soulmate could land you in a scam. Yes, you heard that right. As AI blurs the line between what's real and what's not, the lonely and the vulnerable are getting increasingly targeted online by scammers. We know that loneliness is a growing epidemic worldwide now. But did you know that the loneliness epidemic now threatens to become a security crisis as well? And that's as more people get lonely and have very less social interactions, they are becoming more endangered to digital frauds. Experts are calling it romance scams. So what are these romance scams? It requires attackers to build relationships with their targets. That's the first step, and that happens through dating apps and social media. These types of scams are also called confidence scams. As the name suggests, the fraudsters use social media and dating apps to exploit people's weaknesses and their loneliness, and criminals will use a range of tactics to entrap their victims. They do this by building up their perceived romantic ties. This includes asking intimate questions from the potential victims, questions that only a trusted close friend would ask. For example, questions about their past dating life or the dating history. Further, attackers also build intimacy through a technique called love bombing. Terms of endearment are used to try to rapidly advance a feeling of connection with the target. As romance scams progresses, it is very common for attackers to start saying that victims are their girlfriend or boyfriend, or even call them husband or wife, as a way of showing their love or signaling their devotion. Another tactic with criminals on dating apps includes telling their target that they were previously scammed and are therefore skeptical of trusting anyone new in the future. Well, this makes it seem like less likely that the person the victim is chatting with could in fact be the scammer himself or herself. When it now comes to extorting money from the victims, this vulnerability is the key. They will do things to make it look like they are facing some kind of cash flow problem. They maybe a few weeks later bring the topic back up again, at which point the target may want to help and offer to send money. According to reports, in a lot of cases, criminals find romance scams successful with people who are already struggling with feelings of loneliness. And this is why romance fraud is such a big business for scammers. Well, people in the US have reported that they've lost at least $4.5 billion to romance and confidence fraud. That's over the past decade. This is according to an analysis of the 10 years of dating till 2023. From the FBI's annual internet crime reports, and according to the FBI's figures, romance and confidence scams have led to losses of around $600 million for each of the past 5 years, except for 2021, when losses peaked at almost $1 billion. Some estimates place that number even higher. Romance scams begin all over the internet. Sometimes criminals put out messages on Facebook to hundreds of victims at a time. And in a dating app, they do this by matching with every profile they see. They're just swiping right. As for who are these scammers and where they are based, a variety of criminals run romance scams from West Africa to Southeast Asia. And these frauds are growing into a more organized form. Individuals are hired from all over the world, meaning that they can target all different kinds of victims. Some criminals in Southeast Asia are reportedly building AI tools into their scamming operations. In fact, in October last year, a United Nations report said that organized crime efforts have been AI to cheat victims while engaging in real-time conversations. And that's in hundreds of languages. According to the FBI, AI allows criminals to more quickly message victims. Ultimately, romance scams cost victims hundreds of millions of dollars a year. But as people grow increasingly isolated and as scammers scale their crimes using AI, the problem looks like it will only get worse with time.